Hi everybody, welcome. In this video today I am going to show you the drop ceiling with recessed cans in Revit. So we are continuing with our cafe project, and one thing I'm going to do right away is I am going to select my floor and I'm going to turn it off. So literally at the bottom of your interface, the temporary hide isolate icon, I am going to hide it. And I'm going to rotate myself just a little bit. Just so if you guys are curious, the rest of my model, the visual style is set to a shaded visual style. I just tend to like the little gradient, a little bit darker effect. But I am zeroing in on, you could see this rounded rectangle here, drop ceiling with the recessed cans. That's what I'm going to show you how to build in Revit. Okay, so I'm just ordering myself just to get a little comfortable. I am going to start by basically taking you to the architecture tab at the top, to the ceiling option icon. And I am not building an automatic ceiling. I am building a custom ceiling, so that means sketch ceiling, so the one to the right. And I am going to show you using the pick lines option, again, just like I showed you in the previous video of creating millwork. So I'm going to select pick lines, and I am going to select each one of these objects. It's basically lines and arcs to make up this shape. And again, I drew this in AutoCAD a long time ago, so nice and generic. So that is the shape, wonderful. The type of ceiling that I am going to select is a gypsum ceiling. It's a pretty thin profile. I think it's only like 4.5 inches in height. Fine, great with LED lights, right? And obviously it's set to level 1 in my properties, but the height of our level 1 is 12 foot, so I'm going to bump this up to 10 feet as far as height offset, if you will. And I'm going to go ahead and hit at the very top of the interface the Finish Edit Mode green check, because I am done creating it. You will see it get created immediately. It'll still be blue in creation mode, but I'm in 3D, so you're referencing it. If you orbit, you could see, again, I'm at 10 feet, so my overall model is at 12, and obviously I don't have any recessed can lights yet. When you create ceilings, it understands, Revit, that it's a ceiling. So for the most part, it understands that we should be looking, if we're going to add some lighting, at our reflective ceiling plan. And if I double click the reflective ceiling plan, or ceiling plans, if you will, level 1, double click, you can see I'm zeroed in on it. I didn't realize I was. You can see that everything I've drawn so far, walls, structural columns, are created, and pretty much only what you see on a reflective ceiling plan is shown. So you're not seeing my millwork in this view. But what is missing, and probably what would be helpful for us, right, would be the CAD drawing. So off on my left-hand side under my properties, I am going to go ahead and deselect the ceiling, so it's no longer blue. And again, still viewing on the left-hand side my properties, I now have more options because I only had my ceiling selected previously. I'm going to go to Underlay, which is pretty much the second section. And where it says Range Base Level, I'm going to select where it says None, and I'm going to select Level 1. And mind you, barely have to wait to select Apply. It'll probably load right away. You can see it's just a faint CAD drawing, a little difficult to see. The recessed cans, the circles that I drew in AutoCAD, they're on the color green, a little hard to see. So, again, as I zoom in, hopefully you can see that a little bit better. Anyway, let me place one light and then look at it in 3D to double check it, and then copy it if I need to, which I'm hoping I do. So placing light. If you go to your architecture tab and say place a component, in the far right, upper right, there is a button Load Family. And it's taking me right where I last left off, which under our Imperial Library, I was under Lighting. I was under Architectural Lighting. I was under Internal, which basically is interior lighting. And the light source that I selected is this recessed lamp round LED. I'm purposely looking for LED lights because if I go ahead and select incandescent or fluorescent, it's going to give me a taller can. And being that I have a very low profile for my drop ceiling, my soffit, if you will, 4 inches. I think it's 4¼ inch. You want a low profile for your also LED light fixture. So this recessed lamp round LED, I believe, is going to give me that. We're going to find out in a few minutes. So literally select recessed lamp round LED, select open, and then you're going to get this option. You get this option, these spec options, quite a bit with lighting and furniture, which is great. There is trimmed pieces and there are trimless pieces. I prefer trimless. I prefer a little bit rounder or larger, I should say, of a downlight. So I'm selecting the 4-inch trimless downlight LED. I do not need the wall washer, so downlight is perfect. So I'm going to hit OK here. And, again, within a minute, probably you're going to see, obviously, the Revit family. And you're going to see if I move on top of my CAD drawing, it will turn blue. So and again, zoom in as much as you need to see. Again, I can't object snap, unfortunately, to that AutoCAD drawing, but I could just place one as best I can. I could take a look at it in 3D. If it looks good, then I can copy it with constraints in Revit. So before I go any further, let me just quick save. Let me double click my 3D view and let me orbit. So when you orbit in Revit, again, as a refresher, hold down your shift key, hold down your trackball, and orbit and rotate yourself underneath. And that looks good. Looks good underneath. Again, I'd like to maybe minimize that trim, but again, we still see a recessed can and it is not protruding out at the top. Wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to head right back to my ceiling plan level 1. I'm going to select that light. And I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to copy it first in a row. So again, quick selection of copy. In our options toolbar, this green options toolbar, I have checked on constraint and multiple, which is wonderful. And I am going to zoom in a little bit. Now, again, now that I have the Revit family loaded, object snaps are popping up. But I have to remember that I might not be able to, it is coming up on the CAD drawing too. So I'm going to select a point that I know I can reference for all the other lights. So I'm basically picking and selecting, I picked and selected this endpoint here. However, what if I pick this midpoint? Can I pick the midpoint there? That's a little harder. So I'm going to say undo, Control Z. I'm going to select that. I'm going to say copy one more time. I'm going to go with my first instinct. So on the actual selecting of the original object to copy, I'm able to select endpoint here. But as I move to the next option, I get only a double arrow and it says horizontal. And all I can say is that is a good thing. It's just difficult not to see endpoint to endpoint to endpoint because that's what we're used to working with in AutoCAD. But again, if you kind of scroll in, it knows to snap at the midpoint of the AutoCAD circles. And so again, I'm going to save. And then very quickly, you guys, I could just window select those 4 recessed can LED lights. Again, copy. Again, constraints is checked on. I'm multiple copying. And I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm basically going to move vertically. So again, this is my next option. So you can see this one is not so nice and plain. So again, if it doesn't want to play nice, just hit escape, copy again. Let's see if I can get to. There we go. Yeah, it likes the bottom, but it didn't like the side. And again, double arrow, it basically means it's vertical and nearest. So, again, and you'll see a little flag pop up for it. It doesn't show well on video, I should say, or as I'm demonstrating this, but it is snapping a little bit. So there is kind of a little bit of help. I'm going to save where I'm at. I'm going to last jump into a 3D view, and I'm just going to orbit myself upside down and just make sure that I see openings. Again, if you need to turn off your CAD drawing, go ahead and turn that off. No big deal. And I'm looking at recessed, or I should say 12 recessed can lights in a gypsum drop ceiling. Wonderful. I know that I can go back to my ceiling plan level 1. I can go ahead and select the whole entire drop ceiling we just created with the lights. Say copy again, and I am going to copy. I'm going to copy from the edge midpoint to, and again, if you need to zoom in because I can't see, you need to zoom in for that alone. you basically made a copy of your second drop ceiling. And again, double check yourself in 3D. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. If I turn everything on, which was basically only the floor in the CAD file, but still. Got a little bit of millwork. We have some drop ceilings. I need to still create some millwork back there. You guys have placed furniture already. We are ready for some camera views, I believe. Okay, well, hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, like it. And I will see you on the next one. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye.